Hello again. Okay, let's hope my microphone stays on because I broke this. I super glued it together and then super glued things together and then put my phone in the super glue, like, oh, super glue. Sometimes not so super, but it'll be okay. It's not my everyday phone that got stuck in the super glue. It's my Samsung phone that I use as a remote for this camera. So anyway, we're here today to talk about petticoat. This is the next piece of clothing I am making in my Outlander-inspired outfit, working from the inside out. I'm going to be using an old linen sheet to make my petticoat. You're supposed to make it in two pieces, the front and the back, and then have spaces on the sides open for your pockets, which I haven't made yet. However, the sheet that I'm using has a lovely little, what do they call it, trellis design at the bottom. Well, it's a nice hem, and I thought I'd keep that. And I could have cut it in half. However, lots of old linen sheets also have initials embroidered smack in the middle. So I have those initials smack in the middle, and I don't want to cut it in half. So I'm going to be doing this a little differently. I'm going to be cutting it all in one piece and then making a seam where the sides will be so I can still fold the top over to make my pockets and get in and out, obviously. So it's going to have an additional seam in the back, which it shouldn't, but I'm sure back in the day they had to make do with whatever they had to, so I'm sure all their clothing wasn't perfectly to the pattern, hopefully, because mine won't be. But no one will see it anyway. It's going to be underneath. So I'm just hoping this works out. One thing I have to keep in mind, and I've measured wearing my bum roll, is that the back has to be longer than the front. Otherwise, it's going to get hiked up in the back because the bum roll adds a couple inches. So I've taken that into account and I'm not measuring a straight line, and I hope this works out. I will show you my progress. I'm going to be hand sewing it again, like they did. Also because I'm having trouble with the sewing machines, but it should be a basic piece of the wardrobe, I think. I don't always know 100% what I'm doing, so I will link you to some resources and videos of people doing it in two pieces as it should be done, with proper measurements and things like that. Mine, I'm using what I have to work with. Anyway, we're gonna get started now. Wish me luck. Okay, here's what we're working with, and I can't wait to move this bed and be able to spread this all out, because so I have measured up. That would be the back, that will be the middle, because that's just too adorable to cut in half. And the back again. So we'll have a seam in the back, seams down the side so I can do it properly, and that'll be the front. I hope I'm not making a mistake. As I said, I had to cut the back of the petticoat to be longer than the front so that it won't ride up over the bum roll, and that's what I'm doing here. Piece of cake. Alright, so here's my plan. Because it's already got a nice hem, because I just cut off part of the the sheet, so it's not like a raw edge, I decided I would save a little tiny bit of space. And instead of folding it like that, oh, I can't even do it because I made it really small, and then, am I that skilled? No. I would just fold it over once, and then I'm gonna sew it there. Should look good, I hope. Alright, so I'm about halfway done sewing it down there. Not too bad so far. I mean, it's looking tighter than my shift. But now it's late at night, so time to call it a day and pick it up again tomorrow and probably finish it. I finished the hem and I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out. Much smaller. I'm getting there. Next step, I think, is to figure out where the pockets are and cut that, and then put some fabric around those. You'll see what I mean. I don't have the words. Sorry. Okay, so I measured the middle of the top here, and I cut down about 10 inches. This is where the pocket hole is going to be, so I can reach into my non-existent pockets. I'm going to, I'm just going to like fold that around there. So I cut out hopefully enough to do that. Don't know how to do that part, but we'll figure it out now. And here I go, sewing on my pocket protectors. I don't know, what would you call them? I do have to figure out another way to do this for future petticoats and pockets though, because I don't particularly like how it doesn't lay flat where I have to turn the corner with the fabric. And I have to do the other one now. So now what I have to do is pleat it on the front and the back and just pin it in nice long pleats so they're nice and straight, and it's going to be the waistband. So I have to, well, I know my waist measurement, so it has to equal a little more than my waist measurement because it's going to wrap around and over top the stays or corset and whatnot. And I want it to overlap on the sides a bit. So we're going to pleat it before making the waistband. Oh, my favorite part. No, measuring out the pleats. But it must be done, and it actually worked out pretty well, though for future petticoats I might leave a little more room in the waist as it doesn't overlap very much and I feel it should. Luckily though, not too many people see me in my petticoat, so it doesn't matter that much. For my petticoat, I pleated the front and the back the same way, though for my outer skirt I'll be pleating the front and the back differently, just in case you wanted to know that. Okay, got the front pleated to my satisfaction. Almost, kind of, pretty much. I'm a perfectionist. It's perfect, it's perfect. Now I just need to do the back exactly the same. Both sides miraculously done, and I didn't have to undo it at all. At this point, for some reason, my camera decided to just go into slow motion mode, and I have no idea what I was saying, but look at those lovely pleats. Alright, so I have pinned my waistband pieces to the skirt. I'm going to sit here in bed and hand stitch across there and across there, and then fold it inside out and, just make a nice waistband, you'll see. And then the last step, I'm going to add the ties to each side of those. Oh, and I have to stitch those shut. Might take a little while. And those will tie around my waist. So that's the plan. Okay, so I did, is this the front? Did I do the front or the back? I did the front. Okay, yes, I did the front one. And it turned out really well, I think. So I just need to do the back one. It's all pinned up here. Yeah, look at that. I am very proud of myself. Let's just admire that for a moment. And I finally gave in and started using my thimble. I don't know, I like to be able to feel my needle, but I was starting to not be able to feel some of my fingers, so I started using my thimble. Ta-da! I gave in. Alright, bedtime or the second half, I don't know. As you can tell by the lighting, I opted to press on and complete the back part before going to sleep. Good morning. What day is it? Day 3 making this? Day 3? Day 4? I'm not sure. Well, I started today making the ties, the side, the waist ties. Why do I still not have a word for this? So I made one that I'm gonna cut in half and then sew it to two sides of the skirt, and I just have to make one more and do the same with that. So yes, then okay, just finish that and I sew them on and it's done. Okay, so I've got my strings. I'm going to cut them both in half and attach them here and here and here and here, and then I am done. And this is the final product. Like I said, I think I could have made it slightly wider at the waist so it overlapped a bit more, but it's not a big deal to me at the moment, and if I ever really feel like adjusting it, all I would have to do is repleat it. I have to make a second one soon anyway, as even undergarments can get dirty if you're walking dirt paths and whatnot, which I am. But that's all for today. Sorry it was mostly my hands. I recorded all of this a couple months ago, but I'm going to make an effort to include my face more in future sewing videos, since some of you apparently like to see my face. Next week on The Adventures of Kendall, we join Adeline Barnes in 1930. Ciao.